Hari Om. So we are seeing the 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga, path of meditation, the final gateway to enlightenment. But before we walk on this path, commence this path, we have to prepare ourselves, and that preparation has to be done through Karma Yoga. So first step is Karma Yoga, then we further purify our mind and make it single pointed through Upasana, and then gain proper knowledge. And after gaining knowledge, we gain that Vairagya and become fit for Dhyana and to realize our own self. So therefore Bhagavan says, Aru Rukshor Muner Yogam Karma Karanam Uchyate. Those who want to sit on the seat of a meditation, then first step is karma. And once one has gained the qualification, then one can quieten the mind further. And how do we know that we are qualified for meditation? It says if we become free of attachment to the objects, sense objects, we become free of attachment to different actions, and we can renounce our desires, we can drop them, then we are fit for meditation. Because all senses are meant to interact with the world. Actions we perform also as an interaction with the world. And all desires also are related to the world. But this meditation is an inner journey. So all this outer thing has to be dropped. So one who has become fit for that, Bhagavan says, can meditate. So he says that you help yourself to attain this state of fitness. Uddharet atmanatmanam. Help yourself by yourself. Quieten your mind and gain the necessary qualification and raise yourself on this spiritual path. Evolve yourself proactively by intelligently doing all the sadhanas. You evolve yourself. Don't wait for nature to take over. Slowly and steadily you put forth effort and raise yourself. And don't let yourself fall down, because you yourself are your friend and you yourself are your enemy also. Atmaiva Atmana Bandhuhu and Atmaiva Ripur Atmanaha. You yourself are your friend. Means our own mind, our own intellect is our friend on this path, and our own body, mind, intellect behaves like an enemy also. So the one very important step for a seeker to achieve is to achieve friendship with his or her own mind and intellect and the senses. So how to make friends and what is the meaning of being friend to ourselves is explained now in the 6th verse. Bandhuratmatmanastasya enatmaivatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvata bandhuratmatmanastasya enatmaivatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvata. Bhagavan says that Bandhuhu, our friend, Atma Atmanastasya, Bandhuratmatmanastasya ena Atma eva Atmana jitaha. Our own Atma means our own body, our senses, our mind, Our intellect is our friend if they are under our control. With the help of a refined and intelligent intellect, we have to achieve control over our that equipment. These are all our equipments, our sadhan, our instruments, which helps us to proceed on this path. So this equipment should be under our control. Our senses should be under our control. Our body should be under our control. Control means they obey us. They obey our whatever decision we take, they obey. For example, if we decide to meditate, the mind should obey us. If we tell the mind to please keep quiet, the mind should be able to keep quiet. If we tell the senses, now close your eyes, ears and all, and remain unaffected by the outer stimuli, they should be able to maintain that. If we tell the intellect that you contemplate on this particular point and arrive at the understanding, the intellect should be able to engage in that. If our equipments are not under our control, then they behave like independent parties like. So body is one party, senses are another, mind is another, and intellect. Intellect decides something, mind doesn't care for the decision, mind goes in some other direction, senses they behave in their own way. Such a person is called a disintegrated person. Even in the world, if we want to achieve something, we have to integrate our personality. Our personality is made up of a lot of these little things. All of them should get properly integrated with understanding, with right wisdom, not forcefully, but with right wisdom, we should be able to integrate our personality. And that becomes a necessary initial step before we embark on meditation. So Bhagavan says, Bandhuhu atmatmanastasya ena atma eva atmana jitaha. One who has conquered himself by himself. One who has conquered his mind with the intellect. One who has conquered his senses with the mind. One who has conquered his body with the help of his senses and the mind. Means all of them are well integrated. We can achieve this by educating the mind, by making friendship with our mind. Slowly, and just like we make friendship with others, on Facebook and all. So like that, we can make friendship with our own mind. By understanding the mind. A mind is a very beautiful equipment which all of us we have. With the help of mind, we can feel. With the help of mind, we can think. So it is a most fascinating equipment, but it carries the impression from past many lifetimes. It has got its own fears. It has got its own jealousies and anger and sadness and guilt, and all these negative things are also there in our mind. But at the same time, it has got that ability to love, to be compassionate, to be friendly. All these are also there within the mind. The mind has to be trained systematically, right from our childhood. And that is what it should include in our lifestyle itself. So by giving proper samskar to the mind, with the help of right type of food, right type of dress, right type of behavior with the world outside, and right type of training, right education to the mind, slowly and steadily the mind becomes our friend. We can understand our mind very deeply. Many times people say, I don't understand my own mind. You have been living with your mind for such a long time and still you don't understand. No, then you must have not spent time to understand your mind. Have you understood what the mind wants? Have you understood how the mind interacts with different situations? Have you understood what makes the mind agitated? Have you understood what frightens the mind? Have you understood what makes the mind quiet and calm? No, I have not understood. Then we have to understand. So that is what is required with the help of our refined intellect, with the help of the scriptures. Later on we will again come back to that topic when Arjuna also asked Bhagavan the question that my mind is very, very restless, I don't know how to control it. We will discuss more about this. But here Bhagavan says one who has made friendship, the mind, which is mind and senses and the body, if they are under our control. Control means a friendly control, not a suppressed, not with force. Because if you forcefully control the mind will at the first opportunity rebel, revolt against all our effort. And immediately that person, whatever height we have gained, we just fall down. Mind should not be treated badly, harshly. It is a very delicate equipment. And it has got its own tricks because it has lived a long, long time. It knows all the tricks. So we need to understand our own mind and make friendship with our mind. Whatever sadhana we do, we should do it intelligently. Whether we are doing fasting or whether japa, puja, tirthayatra, or reading the scriptures, contemplation, satsang, all should be done with proper awareness and understanding so that slowly and steadily our mind becomes our great friend. And if a mind becomes our friend, then the whole journey becomes very easy. Then we don't have to worry. It's like if we are on a long journey, if we have some friend who are good, who are protective, who are careful, who are there always with us, the journey becomes easy. Similarly, this spiritual journey will become easy if we can make friendship with our own mind. But that mind which is not under our control, that mind which has got a lot of these negative tendencies within it, that mind which is sad, that mind which is agitated, that mind which is angry about something and we have not resolved that anger, that mind which is guilty about something and we have not resolved that mind which is deeply frustrated and all this type of things, and we have not made quieten the mind by giving it proper guidance and proper understanding, then such a mind acts like our enemy. Mind is not interested in meditation and all those things then. It says, first you solve this problem. The boss has scolded me right in front of everyone, and I am very angry. I want to go and give him one blow on his head. No, you meditate. Mind will not listen. You have to resolve this. All this we have to resolve by our right deep wisdom, vision, understanding, and our sadhana. And whatever has to be done outside, we have to do all our duties. So slowly and steadily make the mind your friend. Because anatmanastu shatrutve varteta atma eva shatruvata. Because the mind which is not under our control acts like our shatru, like our enemy. We can't say it is my mind. My own mind can create confusion in my life. It can create delusion. It can create so much of agitation in me that even to lead a proper peaceful life will become difficult. So it is very important, Bhagavan says, you make friendship with your mind and lift yourself by yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to come and help you. So one who has attained that state of total total victory over the mind, that person becomes fit for meditation. That person becomes fit. It's like the story of Mullah Nasruddin. He was sitting on the donkey, and suddenly the donkey started running here and there. So somebody asked him that, "Oh Mullah, where are you going here and there?" He said, "Why are you asking me? You ask the donkey." Because I am not telling the donkey, he is running here and there. Similarly, our mind is like a donkey, runs here and there. But if it is well trained, under control, it will behave properly. So what then? Such a person is called Yogarudh, who has total control over his mind and who has gained that vairagya. He has dispassion towards the objects of this world and towards all actions and has given up lot of his desires. Such person becomes fit for meditation. And through meditation, what does he achieve? What is the goal of meditation? What does the Yogarudh achieve? That is now indicated in the following 3 verses before Bhagwan explains to us how to meditate. He shows us the goal. It says, Jitatmana prashantasya Paramatma samahitaha Shitoshna sukha dukkheshu Tatha manapamanayoh Jitatmana prashantasya Paramatma samahitaha Shitoshna sukha dukkheshu Tatha manapamanayoh. Jitatmanaha, one who has conquered his mind through proper making friendship with the mind, one whose mind is under his control. Mind means also the senses, the body, the intellect is completely under control. They are equipments. They are not myself. All these are equipment, just like our mobile. Mobile under control means we should be able to switch it off at will. We should be able to keep it away at will. That means it is under our control. But if we can't do this, then it is controlling us. Once a Mahatma was going with his disciple and he saw one person has tied the cow and was taking the cow away. So the Mahatma asked his disciples, who is bound? The cow is bound or that person is bound? So disciples said, oh, cow is bound. So Mahatma said, if we release the cow, who will go after whom? Cow will go on his own way. That fellow will run after the cow. So we think we are owning that mobile and all, but it is actually the other way around. So one who has conquered the mind means one who is able to switch off the mind at will. One is able to tell the mind, okay, now you can keep quiet, and it keeps quiet. That is called conquering the mind. Not by force, but by understanding, by wisdom. Forcefully if we do it, it will not work. So through wisdom, one who has conquered the mind, jitatmanaha. What is the sign that mind is under our control and it has been conquered? It remains calm. Prashantasya, the mind becomes calm. Forcefully if the mind is conquered, the agitation is suppressed, it is there, and as soon as it gets an opportunity, it comes out like a volcanic eruption. But mind which has been understood, the mind which has been educated, the mind which has been trained properly remains absolutely still. It works only when we tell it to do certain action. Then it functions. Otherwise, it remains still. Eh? It is an instrument, just like a doctor uses the stethoscope and all, only when it is required. But many times they put it in their, this like a mala and moves around. Anyway, it is not used then. Similarly, the mind is like an instrument, so when it is told, you have to just keep quiet, it remains silent. So, prashanta, so prakarshena shanta. There are no agitations, no desires erupting, no unresolved issues coming up in the mind. All issues are resolved. We carry our past without resolving them properly. That is called indigestion then. We have not digested our experiences properly. All experiences, good and bad, can be digested with good, proper wisdom. But if we don't digest, they remain in us as negative tendencies and emotions. So mind which is free of all this undigested thing, it is totally clean and pure, and it has become absolutely still. Prashantasya. Such a person, Bhagavan says, Paramatma samahitaha. For such a person, such an individual, Paramatma is attained, as is recognized as his own self. When the mind becomes still and when there are no other disturbances, one comes to recognize ourselves as we are. When there are no disturbance in the mind, when there are thoughts, then our attention goes on the thoughts. Yeah? Like suppose the television is on, our attention goes there. Whatever be the program, we keep watching. But when it is switched off, then attention doesn't go there. Similarly, when the mind is constantly thinking and different types of emotions are coming, it is disturbed, our attention goes there. See, what is the sign of a healthy body when attention doesn't go there? How do you know you don't have headache when you are not aware of your head? But when we have headache, the first thing happens is we become aware of our head. When we become aware of our stomach, that means we are having stomach ache. When we are healthy, it doesn't demand awareness. It says, you leave me alone, I am fine. Similarly, when the mind is healthy, it doesn't demand attention. When the mind doesn't demand attention, we can pay attention to our own self. So, such a person whose mind has become absolutely still, Paramatma samahitaha, recognizes that Paramatma as his own self, recognizes the self, Atma, as not different from that Param Atma. See, Atma means the self which is the witness of our body, mind and intellect. It is the witness of our waking, dream and deep sleep state. But the self in me is the self in all. One who understands the self in all as the self in me has understood Param Atma. Paramatma is that self which is in all. Just as a pot is there and there is space in that pot. The space by mistake consider itself the pot, then the space is educated, the space goes on this journey, spiritual journey, and the space recognizes that I am the space in the pot. When it recognizes this, it also recognizes that I am the same space in all the pots. So the space which is in all, you can say, is Param space. Similarly, the Atma who is in all is that Param Atma. So a person who has quietened the mind comes to recognize the Paramatma and remains same in all situation, because the Paramatma is recognized in all situations. He says, Shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoho samaha. He remains same in Shita Ushna, whether it is cold or it is hot, whether there is happiness or unhappiness. In honor as well as dishonor, the person remains same, means in all situations he recognizes that same Paramatma. The self is recognized under all circumstances. Once you recognize the self, it will be seen and understood and being aware of in all circumstances. Then there is no need to remain at one place or go to a particular point or in particular time. In all situations, one is aware of one's own real self. So even in winter or in summer, or in happiness, unhappiness, or when he is honored or dishonored, the person is established in the self alone. So this great state of realization is attained by this Yogarud who continues his journey of quietening the mind and shifting his attention to the self. More about this goal is explained in the next verse. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastho Vijitendriyaha Yukta Ityuchyate Yogi Samaloštashma Kanchanaha Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastho Vijitendriyaha. Such a Yogarud, he becomes Jnana Vijnana Truptatma. He becomes completely content and satisfied with knowledge and wisdom. Jnana means knowledge which one acquires from the scriptures. From the scripture, we should understand what is the nature of our own self. See, scriptures are the words of realized masters, one who has realized his own self. Such a person tells us that yourself is not this body, mind, intellect, but that pure consciousness. So from the scriptures, we have to learn about ourselves. Scriptures are like the mirror which shows us our face, our inner face. So when we study the scriptures, like the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutra, these are the Vedantic scriptures which reveal the nature of the self. When we study them, we understand through the scriptures what is my nature. By ourselves, it might be very difficult to study, so we have to study from a teacher. So first we have to listen to the teacher, Shravanam. Then we have to contemplate on whatever we have heard and understand it properly. The scriptures tells us who I am. Once I have understood it beyond all doubts, this understanding happens when we contemplate on it. It's like mathematics. A formula is there or some problem is there, we can understand it by going through the process, the